this is Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. I am glad that you're here. I'm going to be doing 2 Project Life spreads in this video because I want to show you once again how to use your stamps to make patterns, how to make journaling cards, and how to complete Project Life spreads. It really doesn't take a lot to put together a Project Life spread. And I've kind of learned that this year, that I don't need all the company products or I don't need a kit. I can just use my stamps. So I am excited to share with you these 2 projects and bring them to life. So the stamps I'm using are Everyday Explorers. I love using Christine's stamps. I think everybody knows that by now. But the ones that I'm using are, I'm going to use the 2 from Felicitas. One is a new September release, and this one is awesome. It is called Mixed Marks. What I love to do with it is to make patterns on these cards. You guys know I've done that before with prompt stamp sets. I'll do a repeat pattern. But now if I do tone on tone ink, it'll look like it was a pattern that was already there, which is really cool. And again, just a reminder, this pad is a 2x3 from Michaels. So one of my favorite things I have in my scrapbook stash and tool that I use all the time. First, the classic Greenery stamp set. And then I have a ton of other stamp sets that I pulled out. I pulled out Local Travel, and then I pulled out Spring is Here. I also pulled out Mini Makers #1 Places, then My Places Prompts. So I pulled out lots of them, and I am gonna make, like I said, 2 Project Life spreads 6x12 size. And if the stamp sets are still available, I'm gonna link them in the description box below, and that way you guys can go ahead and grab them if you would like. Okay, I'm gonna start with this spread. This was a hike in April, and we wound up catching some really, really tiny tadpoles, as you can see. Let me see if it focuses. Very tiny tadpoles right there. And then this was in March. We decided to go to a local flower farm. Okay, I am gonna stop talking and switch over to a voiceover. I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, this is the 6x12 spread, how it looks when I started. I'm gonna have a 4x6 and a 3x4, and then a little bit on a 4x6 to journal about. So these are the pieces that I have that I'm going to kind of build. So I'm starting on the 3x2 cards, adding flowers to one, and then another stem type flower to the darker green, and then I'll also add some stamping to that 4x6 card. And I'm just gonna layer in a ton of different mixed marks and stamps. So the bottom 4x6 card is also going to have that kind of stem as well, and then it will also have the bump, the half rainbow looking stamp right there. And then I will also add in some hash mark stamping in just a little bit. And I'm just gonna, like I said, layer in all the stamps that I can possibly find, and then that will make for a really fun, different pattern for my Project Life spread and to use on my Project Life spread. So adding in the hash mark down on the top and the bottom of my spread. I'll also use it on the 3x4 card as well. And then I kind of decide that I want to use a torn portion of the 3x2 card. So I just tear a portion of the dark green and also the light green, and then I just add to the top and to the bottom. I'm going to do the same thing for the main 4x6 card as well. It's something different because I tend to gravitate towards using my punches and punching that out. And while that gives some consistency throughout my album, I just wanted to do something different. I also decided to use black ink for a few stamped phrases. I did stamp some of the same phrases in green ink because I wasn't sure if I wanted to use black for the phrase on there. I did use the prompts to stamp One with Nature, and I will use that in a little bit. So on this 4x6 card, I came up with Love This Place, and I just used the different stamp sets from the mini makers. And I also used some of the prompts on the stamp set that said we were here, the story, and highlights. And I thought that that was a great way to kind of do something different for my 4x6 card. Added in some messy stitch marks for the 3x4 card, and then added in detail. But I'm not going to necessarily write anything there. I'm going to kind of make a cluster card. So for this 4x6 card, originally when I was digitally planning this project out, the entire right side was all 3x4. Somehow it wound up as not that. So I had to combine two of the cards, and it worked out all right because one of the card on the left is of the tadpole, and then on the right is my people looking at the tadpole. So overall it worked out, and I'll just write a little something at the bottom. So for the detail card, I have the black circle in the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and cut out some flowers in just a little bit. And actually, when I get done with a spread and I take pictures of the spread, I decide that that detail card actually needs to go where my son's photo is on the far left. That way there's one custom card on each page. So I was thinking about that as I was taking photos. Why does it look off balanced? And that's why it looked off balanced, because the 3x4 card should be on the left. So this is where I stamped a bunch of the flowers, and then I fussy cut them out, and then I also added some white dots to the center. And then I just added some adhesive to kind of the middle of the card. That way I could kind of cluster from there. And I just add in a few of the light green colored flowers and also the dark green. And I pop dot one of the dark green flowers, and it makes for a really fun clustered card. Also add in This Is Our Spot, because it really is one of our favorite places to go, and we definitely visit a few times in the spring. So I'm just finishing up that card, and then I will move on to finishing up the rest of the cards. For the 4x6 card with the photos, I put a little torn piece up at the top left. And then for the family photo, I put how we do things around here. And then for the journaling below the 3x3 photo, I just put watching the tadpoles and trying to catch the tadpoles, and it takes some concentration. And then we were here, I just wrote out the place that we were at, and then the different highlights, how we weren't expecting to catch tadpoles. We usually catch crawdads or big old toads, but we got to see some tadpoles because we came so early in the season. So that was really cool. So I've got everything written out, and the spread is done. Okay, this one's going to be even faster because all I need is two 3x4 cards, and I'm just going to use my stamps, and I'm going to journal off camera, take the photos, and then I'll be done with the spread. So I'm just pulling those two 3x4 cards off, and then I'm going to layer in all the different stamps in purple and green. I'm just doing a variety of different flowers, and then I use a variety of the circles from the mixed marks as well. And I just have a lot of fun layering in a ton of different stamps, and I really love how these two cards turned out. They're very pretty, and I love the layered stamp look as well. I also used a filled in circle as well, and then that half circle looking one that kind of looks like a scalloped edge. I called it a rainbow earlier, but it's more of like a scalloped edge. So I'm mainly sticking to the corners and then a little bit of the side. And then for the card that's on the right hand side, I'm gonna use that kind of as a title card, and I'll stamp "Today was a good day" in just a minute. For this view, I just am going to use that one as a journaling card. So I'll journal a little bit about our flower farm experience. It's a local place that we go to, and it usually blooms a lot in the summer because of the lilies that are there, but we decided to visit in the spring. So I'm just rotating a few of the cards to make sure I have them where I want them, and then I will be done. So there you go, 2 Project Life pages just using stamps. I hope this gives you some ideas for your Project Life pages. I'd love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you're new to my channel. All right, have a great day. Bye.